Hello everyone, this is CJ992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and we're starting today's video off in a breathless nature, people, because that's the word that's come into my mind right away. My head is throbbing. I am breathless because what I experienced in that 98th minute, despite having an air of familiarity, if you will, doesn't make it any easier, people. You know what I mean? I've been sitting complaining that the Harry Potter reboot slash remake that's actually getting done these days is too soon from the original. Well, me sitting here in the exact same kit, talking about the exact same teams, looking at the exact same scoreline, and the freaking exact same part of a competition is done already, because we relived every high and we relived every low as we're here once again to talk about Rangers 2. PSV 2, the reboot nobody asked for, but it's the one that we were given. And you know what, it's a really weird game to actually look at, by the way, and as we do go ahead and discuss it, if you didn't mind hitting that like button or hitting that subscription button, we are so close now to 60k. It is well and truly within reach as my bottle of water is starting to sprinkle as if there's a ghost cutting about. We'll talk about that another time, but if you do find yourselves enjoying the video at any point, please consider doing so, or if you'd rather wait to see if it's worth hitting those like or subscription for, that is fair enough, because we need to go ahead and discuss it, because I've got real mixed feelings about this game, because the way we took the lead and the pandemonium, the way it unfolded, you know I'm a Rabbi Matondo guy and I take pelters for it constantly, so to see the laddie relive the Rabbi redemption we played in a computer game actually unfold in our very own eyes. I was at the tip of the top, but I was only halfway up, people, and it was ripped away with us once again from a familiar way. Just a silly set piece, so I couldn't really enjoy the highest of highs that I got from Rabbi Matondo. But I guess when we let all the dust settle and we let all the fall away, is a 2-2 draw between the two sides a fair result? Unfortunately, people, I need to say aye. And I guess all that balance is exactly what Thanos was actually striving towards, because there was moments in this game that we were poor and there was moments that we well and truly rode our luck and PSV was choking the life out of us. But then we had our spell and we flipped it and we took the leads in the game. So I guess it is one of those ones depending on how you're feeling. But for me, being a Rangers fan, after that full-time whistle, after the disappointment, and again when I start to find myself and look at this Rangers squad, what I actually saw from this game, people, is something that I can actually get behind being a Rangers fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, that there is something to build upon, and going to PSV, no being behind, no needing to score a couple goals to get back into the game or anything like that, is perfectly suited now for us, because we go away for home, and look, we saw it last year, but the way PSV play with the home crowd and what they demand for their players, you saw the away fans weren't happy with how they were playing. Imagine the whole stadium, they will urge and push them forward and forward and forward, and what we're good at in European football is sitting and countering. And now with a certain diamond that is well and truly starting to shine regarding the pace department, it is suiting us going into next week. So I'm not hating the position we find ourselves in. Yes, it'd been great to win the actual game and come away with the 2-1, but arguably no much actually changes regarding the game plan and how we need to play. We still need to sit in, bide our time and counter with pace. So I'm not hating what I saw in the position we find ourselves in, and for me, patches in that game and how we performed and battled against a fantastic PSV side, because there will be people starting to talk it down now, because you know that's what happens, they talk up and up and up and up, they're going to kill you, they're going to beat, but then as soon as they didn't, people start saying, they're crap anyway, they're crap anyway, no. You ken how it goes, people, but the actual matter of the fact is this PSV is a very good side, and we went blow for blow for the majority of that game. But it's been a couple minutes, people, so I can't go any further on without mentioning the name of Rabbi Matondo again, because we talked about it in yesterday's preview video, and I've seen some of the comments, some of them taking digs and everything. I've had a couple things on Twitter because I said that Rabbi Matondo could come on and be a real player at this game, and that is what it is. And for me, it is a wee reminder, is not only what can happen if you back players and you give them an opportunity and you didn't just scrap them right away after one or two bad performances. When you actually back young players and give them a platform to succeed, they can go ahead and do that. But it also shows you what happens when a player has a bit of confidence and has a carrot dangled in front of him, because Rabbi Matondo was withdrawn from the European squad. All these sexy replacements all brought in, all the big names that all the fans are now singing and all the fans are now looking at, took away for the European squad. He's saying, wait a minute, my position at this club is under threat, and he has well and truly answered that call, and we've seen it in substitute appearance after substitute appearance, and now in the biggest stage, in his biggest game of his career, he's went ahead and done it once again, as he was absolutely spectacular. And if we knew how to defend a set piece, we'd be toasting him as the king of ibrox tonight. But it is that familiarity that follows us in every single game, no matter what we try to do, man. I feel like a T-Rex stuck in a tar pit. No matter what we try to do, the set piece curse pulls us back in. I'm sick of it, people. I just wish we knew how to defend a set piece. Just let me defend one of them. Just one a game, please. Every single game we are hurt with the exact same way. It's the same story, just different pages, people. And that's the real frustration in eyes. That starts to bubble back in. It's just that aimless long ball into the mixer again that we can't get rid of. It's infuriating, people. But let's stop talking around the game and let's go ahead and talk about it, because there was some surprise exclusions from the starting 11, the biggest being Danilo, the marquee signing, the big money signing, not playing at the home Champions League playoff game versus PSV, the biggest game so far in the season. He was dropped to the bench. Now, I understood Sima starting, we discussed that in yesterday's preview video, but I was actually expecting Danilo to start over Dessers or partner him, obviously, with Sima being at the other side. Pace in there. And I was a wee bit upset about Danilo starting, but we'll speak about that a bit later on as well. Let's talk about Sima then, because I imagine he will be the biggest talking point, because for me, my biggest notes in the old mentality notes that I was taking were, what on earth was Sima doing? And you know, I tweeted out, I think I said, is Sima alright? Because he was just seemingly at a different frequency than anybody else. I don't know if you agree with me, and you'll call me out for it and say I'm talking absolute nonsense, but the first 10 minutes I thought, wow, look at the way we're starting this game. There's a bit between the teeth. Cantwell's injecting everything. We're right into this. There's so many opportunities, and Sima's just gone, it's just great to be here, lads. Where was he? And that was infuriating me, people, because yes, he scored, and I'm not taking anything away, and I'm not digging him out or anything like that, but I think his performance up to the minute that he struck that right in the top basket, people, should actually be questioned, because he was just at a different frequency and looked lost, couldn't hold the ball, couldn't get involved, he was slow, he was passive, and he was the biggest frustration going into it. But I didn't lose faith in the laddie, because not only do I trust Brighton scouts with my life, by the way, I do know, just like we're talking about Rabbi Matondos and everything like that, just like other people that's performed and turned things around, you're no judged, and you're no that player for your first couple of games throughout the rest of your Rangers career. There can be moments and there can be bad times, but it's all about you taking your individual moments, and the big moment came to the laddie and he put it right in the breadbasket. So it was a frustrating evening. I'd argue and I'd say, people, it's maybe the best, worst performance at Ibrox that I've ever seen, and I say that with all due respect. Because the first real bit of action we need to discuss in today's video was around about the 22nd minute, where after again just kind of being at a different frequency, he eventually gets on the ball after the centre back slips. You're running through. I'm thinking, I'm up, people, because I know what this lad's capable of. I watched a lot of him for this channel. I'm saying, oh, this is in the back and he's going to pull away and nobody's going to catch him, and nobody does catch him. But it's unfortunate, people, that his touch looked like he had a pair of Timbies on. No, a pair of Adidas, as he ended up punting it about a mile to the right and ends up having a shot, but it's easily saved. But that touch was shocking and probably summarised just how poor he was in the opening 20 minutes. If that comes in the first minute before he starts to lose confidence, to lose every 50-50, he's probably taking a better touch than that. But he just looked like he couldn't do anything at that point, and it was a real frustrating, not only to him, his teammates, you could see, but also the crowd. And 10 minutes later it was the exact same after some more battling from the Rangers defence, and also shout Connor Goldson. You're going to hear Goldson's name a lot in today's video, because spoiler alert, Goldson was by far the man of the match in my opinion. It's not even close. Cantwell offered a lot of energy and drive, but if you take Connor Goldson out of that squad, we are getting absolutely battered, because not only did he do the job of a centre half in this game, he was also a right back. And you know I'm a Tav fanboy, but by goodness gracious, great balls of fire did Connor Goldson cover for Tavernier time after time, people. But more on that in the next couple of minutes, because again, Sima, the defender, kind of falls in. the ball's dropping. He could take a touch, bring it back in and have a shot, but he ends up letting it go out for a corner. And for me, that's just showing somebody that's not got confidence because he kens the game's not gone his way. He's got plenty of time to touch that, bring it in and have a shot, but he's got zero confidence at that point that he lets it go out for a corner and end up fading away. But aye, we keep saying it's a reboot. We keep saying we've redone it and we recaptured what happened last year. Well, we did, people, because the way we scored this goal, the way this goal unfolded was the exact same goal that we scored versus PSV the last time we saw them. But this time it wasn't Tillman pressurising the goalkeeper, it was wee Raskin. It was Raskin and Dessers doing some really good work off the ball, pressing Big Sanj, I believe that it was, who's a great player by the way, and obviously we need to talk to you about him scoring yet again versus him. But we end up forcing a player of that ability into a mistake. Dessers passes it back and Sima, everything's went wrong. He couldn't do right for wrong. Bouncing off him, can he hold the ball? Teammates shouting him. The ball comes to him from outside the box and he just Fred Flintstones it. Beep, beep, beep. Wee step. It just curls one right in the breadbasket. That is truly the one in a million shot that's coming off when you're playing that poorly. But I'm a baller to put that. No, people, because he's shown he's also got a wee bit of quality as well. But it was one of the ends where I'm just not doing anything right. I'll just stick it in the tap bin, and I absolutely loved it. He's well and truly went to the school of Tavernier. Drop a stinker, but score a goal. We love to see the influence Tav's had on the new boys. Speaking of Tav, by the way, after we came out from the second half being 1-0 up, it probably should, and no, I'm not going to say should have scored, they could have scored. I'll say after a great 1-2 with Jose Cervantes, flicking it in behind the fullback, Tavernier volleys it, and actually it's just a fantastic save for the goalie, maybe resurrecting or putting to bed some of the demons they got last year for throwing Tom Lawrence's one back in. He's well and truly made up for it with that phenomenal point blank volley save that I imagine a lot of you have actually forgotten about now. But aye, it was an annoyingly good save. But the save and the build-up play brought the crowd to its feet, and the crowd brought the players to their feet, because I'd argue from that moment, and pretty much the entire start of the second half to about then putting the ball in the back of net was by far the best we played in the game. We were pressing, we were hunting in packs, we were actually zipping the ball about. I absolutely loved it. I mean, Jacko took one of their players for a wee walk at one point. It was gorgeous playing. It truly was the 15-16 minute spell of Rangers just before the end of the first half, leading in to 15 minutes into the second was by far our part the game. But it just shows you what happens, ladies and gentlemen, and how cruel football is. PSV dominated the majority of the first half. They got stung with a goal. We've already scored at this point, but now we're starting to dominate the goal. And what happens? We get stung by a goal, and the way that it comes down is so infuriating, because it was on all day. And if it wasn't for Connor Golton stopping this exact move 6 or 7, no once or twice, 6 or 7, we just never adjusted it. We didn't adjust the formation. They were in behind Jose Cervantes every single time there, because Cervantes was trying to go forward the same as Tavernier, and nobody was swinging back. Usually a Jacko or a Lunny or that will see that and drop in, but two of them want to go forward, and that's something they need to work out between themselves. I'm not digging out Jose. I thought he was good once again on the ball and he put himself about, but you can't have both of them just bombing forward when you're playing the likes at PSV, because Connor Golton was busy. People, big header after big header, slide tackle, interceptions, but this time it gets caught. Jose and Tavernier both trying to run forward. They just get a 1-2 right behind them. It's far, far too easy. And taking nothing away from the actual PSV player, Jacko tries his best to put pressure on him. It's just a phenomenal cross into the mixer, but it ends up going all the way back out to the other side. So we didn't get punished with the initial header, but it goes back out, and it's a nice little pass in behind, and then to be fair, you just have to hold your hand up and say this is absolutely outrageous. When you jump up in quality like this, when you're wanting to play Champions League football, when you're playing European teams and everything like that, this is what you get. The dummy right here deserves the goal in itself, because his vision to know the PSV players behind him and sell both Barisic and Raskin up the river is just simply outrageous. And I didn't want to be praising that, people, but I've got to sit here and say what I saw. The dummy makes every part this goal, because if he doesn't leave it, we've got 2v1, we could take the ball from, but he just jumps over it at the last second that kills and takes Raskin right out of the game, and it's a great finish as it goes and puts it back to 1-1, and Sanguera ends up making it 2 now versus us, unfortunately. Eventually make a sub. John Lundstrom and Rabbi Matondo comes on, and honestly, Twitter was cooking them at that point. But I never said nothing about the subs because I understood it. You needed John Lundstrom's energy. Jacko had ran his race. I thought he was very good in the middle of the park. Again, having to do a lot of work for the likes of Jose and Tavernier doing that right-hand side and help Connor Goldson out. And I thought Lundstrom, on a unpopular opinion, and you'll shout at me for this, I thought Lundstrom was actually great when he came on. No good, no decent, great when he came on. Won every 50-50, won numerous slide tackles, kept things going on, and sat on their midfield and helped us retip the balance that we were starting to well and truly lose in the second half. But where I give Lundstrom a lot of love, I need to just shout at my boy Rabbi Matondo, and I'm getting happy, people. I'm like a kid at Christmas, because his first touch was to run in between three players and get a shot away that was unfortunately blocked to go wide. But I'm like, this boy's cooking. This boy is cooking. I talked about it in the preview video. His pace, his confidence, unleashed the Rabbi. The Rabbi redemption arc continues. And he came out just buzzing. He was just positive at the time, running with the ball, and his legs were absolutely vital. And I think his directness is what Sima should be doing in the opening 20 minutes when we were getting so much of the ball, if you catch my drift. But we were getting it now, and we end up taking the lead, and it's beautiful the way that it actually unfolds. The ball gets played from Tavernier, I believe, to Dessers after winning the ball in the middle of the park, and I thought Dessers was just offside, but Dessers showing once again, he's already showed that a couple of times in a Rangers shirt and Sun we talked about in the preview videos, his ability to bring others into play is what separates him from other people, because it's a curved through ball, exact same like we done at the weekend, curved it right into the path of Rabbi Matondo, and I'm thinking, Rabbi, just take a touch, son, and be confident. But it doesn't even need the touch, he just passes it beautifully into the back of net. Stone Cold Steve Austin bears our air, the grey Nasher, and I'm just hoping and I'm praying that the goal is given, and thankfully it is, ladies and gentlemen, despite Dessers being very, very close to the old offside. And I'm loving life, I'm away, I'm dancing, I'm shaking it about, and there's a throw in, set piece, long ball into the mixer, and Luke de Jong gets up and hits Sutton that isn't a door at ibrox, and it's 2-2, just like that. That's all it takes, people, a set piece. John Suter gets booked a couple minutes later for winning a header fairly versus Luke de Jong, but I'd have booked him for losing the header that mattered inside the actual box. The big soapy needs to be bigger there, man. That's all Luke de Jong wants today from him, and he just doesn't get his head on it, and it's frustrating, and that's the differences. Again, it's harsh, and you might be saying, oh, that's cruel to say that, he played well. I get it, people, but it's European football, it's Champions League football, it's fine margins. You've got to win that moment. We didn't, and it ends up being 2-2, and we kind of huffed and puffed towards the end. We had an opportunity with Big Soapy getting actually fouled, but it's no given, and I understand why it's no given, because Dessers does one earlier in the hang, but I thought he was going to give away another penalty kick. It's just one of those ones, and we came very, very close with the last kick of the ball, pretty much as the ball came out from the corner, headed out. Rabbi Matondo, full volley, the technique's outrageous. I'm thinking it's Sun all the way, but football is cruel. Maybe it was written in the stars that it had to finish 2-2, and that's the game, that's the set, that is the match, and it's all geared up next week to hopefully history repeat itself and become away with a 1-0. But that is the game reaction, that's my thoughts and opinions. Rabbi changed the game in my opinion. I thought he was excellent. Lundstrom was great. I thought the subs were spot on. Oh, actually, I forgot about the Danilo miss. I forgot about that, people. Sam Lammers gets a ball from Tavernier, takes it down beautifully, forces the keeper into a save. The ball drops to Danilo, and the guy's showing he's got absolute zero confidence. I feel like the air of this video is confidence. Sima had no confidence, gets the goal, played better after it when he got some. Rabbi's found confidence, playing well. Danilo, because of that miss a couple of weeks ago, or last week I should say, ends up taking an extra touch when he doesn't need to. And to be fair, it is good defending. It's not as if he missed the target or anything, but I think Danilo, when he's fully confident about his inabilities and he's banging goals in, he's hitting that in a swivel and putting it in the top bin. But he takes a touch, tries to roll it underneath, and the defender ends up sliding it. So we really could and should have won the game. Nearly forgot about that, but I didn't think I forgot about it. I think I just tried to delete it from my actual mind. But that's my thoughts and opinions on the game. What about you? If you are watching, I'd love to know how confident you are. Did you see enough? Certainly did. That's the Rangers side I can believe in and get behind, people, with the patches we played and battled versus a very talented PSV side. And my man of the match, quite clearly Connor Goldson, but special shout out to Cantwell as well. I thought he was very, very good in the game. And that's all I've got to say. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye-bye.